Ladies and gentlemen, life often presents us with a perplexing question. Why do some people seem to be continuously blessed with wealth, success, and opportunities, while others struggle despite their relentless efforts? It is easy to feel frustrated, confused, or even unfairly treated by the apparent inequalities around us. Yet, the reality is that Allah, the All-Knowing, the All-Wise, governs rizq, our provision, in ways that surpass human comprehension. Rizq is not just about money or material possessions. It encompasses every form of sustenance, every opportunity, and every blessing that maintains the balance and continuity of life. Sometimes the wealth we seek is hidden in forms we cannot see, and sometimes the abundance we crave is delayed because Allah has something greater prepared for us. Understanding this hidden law requires us to look beyond immediate circumstances and recognize the wisdom in divine timing. The distribution of rizq is tied to divine wisdom and tests. Allah knows what is truly beneficial for us, even if it contradicts what we desire. We might feel disheartened when we work tirelessly, yet see others succeed more quickly or gain material wealth with little effort. But Allah reminds us in the Qur'an, and whatever Allah has willed for you will reach you, and you will never miss it. Surah At-Talaq 65:3. This verse is a reminder that your provision cannot be stolen, delayed indefinitely, or lost to someone else unless it is part of Allah's divine plan. Sometimes what appears to be scarcity is protection from harm, misguidance, or loss, while what seems to be immediate wealth may bring unseen consequences. True understanding of rizq comes from recognizing that Allah's plan surpasses human perception, and His timing is always perfect. Rizq is closely tied to effort combined with trust. Islam does not advocate passivity, rather it teaches us to strive to work diligently and to seek opportunities, while simultaneously surrendering the results to Allah. The Prophet ﷺ said, "If you were to rely upon Allah with the reliance He is due, you would be given provision like the birds. They go out hungry in the morning and return full in the evening." Tirmidhi. This hadith illustrates the harmony between action and reliance. Effort alone is not enough, and trust alone does not replace effort. The hidden law of rizq ensures that when actions are aligned with intention, sincerity, and ethical conduct, wealth and opportunities will arrive, often from unexpected directions. People may witness sudden promotions, profitable ventures, or helpful connections appearing in their lives, as if by divine orchestration. These moments are not coincidences. They are Allah sending provision at the perfect time, in ways beyond human calculation. The stories of the prophets in the Quran vividly demonstrate how rizq arrives in miraculous ways. Musa found sustenance through the mercy of Allah, even when he fled to a foreign land. Sulaiman received unimaginable wealth and influence, not simply because of his lineage, but because of his submission and reliance upon Allah. Yusuf went from prison to power, witnessing divine provision manifest in extraordinary ways. These stories are not just historical accounts, they are lessons for us. Rizq often comes through patience, prayer, ethical action, and unwavering trust. Sometimes the provision comes from people we never expected, doors we never thought would open, or challenges that redirect us toward hidden blessings. For those who feel deprived or delayed in receiving wealth, it is essential to remember that scarcity may serve a greater purpose. Allah often withholds provision temporarily to refine patience, strengthen faith, or redirect us toward opportunities more aligned with our long-term benefit. Wealth without wisdom can be destructive, and riches without gratitude can erode the heart. The hidden law of rizq teaches us that delays are not denials, that obstacles are often divine guidance, and that trust, gratitude, and persistence are the true keys to receiving Allah's abundant provision. Allah's law of rizq, or sustenance, is one of the most profound principles in Islam, and it governs far more than just material wealth. Rizq encompasses every blessing that sustains life: the food you eat, the air you breathe, the opportunities you encounter, the health you enjoy, the knowledge you acquire, and even the relationships that bring peace and joy to your heart. Many people mistakenly equate wealth only with money or possessions, yet the reality is that rizq is far more expansive. It is all that Allah provides to maintain balance, comfort, and opportunity in your life. Every breath you take, every step you are able to walk, every skill you have, and every connection you form is a form of rizq, a provision from your Lord. Understanding this is essential because it shifts our perspective from mere worldly accumulation to a holistic view of blessings. Wealth is not limited to what we hold in our hands. True richness is the recognition of Allah's provision in every aspect of life. Human beings by nature are prone to anxiety over sustenance. We worry about whether we will have enough, whether our children will be provided for, whether our jobs or businesses will continue to sustain us. Yet Allah reminds us repeatedly in the Quran that He is the ultimate provider, and there is no creature on earth but that upon Allah is its provision. Surah Hud 11:6. This verse illustrates that sustenance is under divine control, and no amount of fear, stress, or overexertion can increase or decrease what Allah has decreed. When we understand that rizq is a divine law, we begin to see that wealth or its absence is not always tied to our efforts alone, but to the wisdom and knowledge of Allah. He knows what is beneficial for us, and He distributes provision in ways that are perfect, even when they seem incomprehensible to our limited understanding. Rizq manifests in both seen and unseen ways. For example, someone might earn a modest income, but possess immense peace of heart, strong family relationships, and excellent health, blessings that surpass material wealth. Another person may have vast riches yet suffer from illness, conflict, or spiritual emptiness. In this sense, true wealth is not simply what is counted in currency, it is the alignment of your life with Allah's blessings and barakah. The hidden law of rizq emphasizes that sustenance is not merely about accumulation, but about the presence of Allah's mercy and balance in your life. Sometimes what appears to be scarcity is actually protection from harm, misguidance, or loss, and what appears to be abundance may come with hidden trials or responsibilities that are not immediately apparent. Human perception is often limited to the immediate and visible. We tend to measure success and provision by what we can see, yet Allah's provision operates on a much larger scale, encompassing timing, suitability, and wisdom. A child born into a poor family may receive the guidance, resilience, and character that leads them to spiritual and worldly success, while a child born into wealth without purpose may struggle with attachment, arrogance, or misdirection. This demonstrates that rizq is about more than the immediate gains. It is about preparing, guiding, and sustaining individuals in ways that are ultimately beneficial. When Allah distributes provision, He considers the entirety of a person's life, their trials, their potential, and their growth. Wealth in the form of rizq is therefore multidimensional and carefully measured according to divine knowledge and wisdom. Recognizing that rizq is a law of Allah changes how we approach life. It encourages gratitude for what we have, patience with what we lack, and trust in divine timing. When we internalize this understanding, fear and anxiety diminish because we know that provision is guaranteed and perfectly calculated for our benefit. It also encourages ethical action, earning through halal means, giving in charity, helping others, and maintaining honesty and integrity in all dealings. Allah's law of rizq ensures that those who act with sincerity, diligence, and trust in Him will see their provision unfold in ways both expected and surprising. It is not merely about chasing material gains, but about nurturing a life aligned with divine principles, understanding that every blessing, big or small, is part of Allah's comprehensive design. The distribution of rizq or sustenance is governed by Allah's infinite wisdom and knowledge, and it is often beyond human understanding. Many of us look at the world around us and wonder why some people seem to receive wealth and opportunities with ease, while others struggle despite their hard work and persistence. It is easy to feel frustrated, envious, or even discouraged when comparing our circumstances with those of others. Yet Allah reminds us in the Quran, and whatever Allah has willed for you will come to you and you will never miss it. Surah At-Talaq 65:3. This verse encapsulates the profound truth that rizq is not random, nor is it solely dependent on effort, luck, or human planning. Allah, in His perfect wisdom, distributes sustenance according to what is best for each individual, taking into account not only material needs but also spiritual growth, patience, and preparation for future blessings. The wisdom behind Allah's distribution of rizq often becomes evident only over time. Sometimes a delay in provision is not a denial, but a form of divine preparation. Allah may withhold certain opportunities or resources to protect us from harm, to guide us away from something that could be detrimental, or to build our character and patience. Imagine a person who desperately seeks a specific job or promotion but is denied repeatedly. From a worldly perspective, this might feel like failure or injustice, yet Allah's wisdom may be redirecting them toward a position that is better suited to their skills, character, and long-term benefit. Similarly, a business venture that fails may protect someone from future financial ruin or moral compromise. The timing, form, and amount of rizq are all tailored by Allah's infinite knowledge, ensuring that what we receive aligns with what is ultimately best for us in this life and the hereafter. Effort and intention play a crucial role in the way rizq manifests. Allah does not simply reward passivity, nor does He provide for those who act with greed or unethical motives. The Prophet ﷺ taught that reliance on Allah must be paired with sincere effort. If you were to rely upon Allah with the reliance He is due, you would be given provision like the birds. They go out hungry in the morning and return full in the evening. Tirmidhi. This hadith highlights that human effort is essential, but it is coupled with trust in Allah's plan. The unseen wisdom of Allah ensures that our labor, aligned with halal intentions, is met with provision in ways that may exceed what we can calculate. Rizq can arrive from unexpected sources: a kind word, a new connection, an unforeseen opportunity, or an unexpected blessing that seems to appear out of nowhere, demonstrating that Allah's control over sustenance is absolute and precise. The hidden law of rizq also emphasizes balance and ethical conduct. Wealth and provision are not merely rewards for labor, they are instruments for spiritual growth, community benefit, and moral responsibility. Those who seek sustenance without consideration for honesty, fairness, and charity may find that their provision is limited, unstable, or spiritually hollow. Conversely, those who act ethically, give generously, and maintain gratitude often experience not only material provision, but also barakah, a divine increase that transforms their wealth into a source of ease, peace, and continuous blessing. Allah's distribution of rizq is therefore not only a matter of quantity but of quality, shaping the hearts and lives of those who receive it. Understanding that Allah distributes rizq with wisdom, precision, and purpose transforms how we perceive wealth, success, and opportunity. It encourages patience during delays, gratitude during abundance, and resilience during trials. When we trust that every blessing and every trial is part of Allah's perfect plan, we are freed from envy, despair, and anxiety. We begin to see that what may appear as scarcity in one moment can become the greatest provision in the next, and that true wealth encompasses not only material sustenance, but also peace of heart, guidance, relationships, and spiritual fulfillment. Recognizing the wisdom in Allah's distribution of rizq allows us to navigate life with faith, clarity, and hope, understanding that His timing is perfect, His knowledge is complete, and His generosity is limitless. True wealth is not merely about the accumulation of material possessions, it is the harmony between effort, intention, and reliance on Allah. The hidden law of rizq teaches us that sustenance flows to those who combine sincere striving with unwavering trust in their Creator. Human beings are blessed with the ability to work, plan, and seek opportunities, yet all of this effort must be guided by ethical principles, gratitude, and reliance upon Allah. The Prophet ﷺ said, "If you were to rely upon Allah with the reliance He is due, you would be given provision like the birds. They go out hungry in the morning and return full in the evening." Tirmidhi. This hadith illustrates a profound truth: provision is guaranteed when effort is coupled with trust. The birds do not store or plan excessively, yet they go out, seek what they need, and return sustained. Similarly, humans must strive with sincerity while placing their ultimate trust in Allah's wisdom and timing. Intentions are the foundation upon which true rizq is built. Allah looks at the heart before actions, rewarding sincerity and punishing hypocrisy. A person may work tirelessly, yet if their intention is rooted in greed, envy, or desire for worldly recognition alone, the value of their effort diminishes. Conversely, a person who works with pure intentions, seeking to provide for their family, help others, or act in a manner pleasing to Allah, unlocks not only material provision but spiritual richness as well. The hidden law of rizq reveals that wealth is not merely transactional, it is a reflection of the alignment between heart, action, and divine guidance. When intentions are pure, doors open, opportunities manifest, and the unseen forces of Allah begin to orchestrate circumstances in ways that are beyond human calculation. Effort without trust can lead to exhaustion and despair. Many people work tirelessly yet remain anxious, frustrated, or dissatisfied because they fail to surrender the outcome to Allah. The law of rizq requires that we act while simultaneously letting go of attachment to results. Trusting Allah means understanding that He sees the full picture, including factors we cannot perceive. We may desire a particular job, investment, or relationship, but Allah's knowledge encompasses the benefits, risks, and consequences beyond our limited vision. Sometimes, delays, rejections, or obstacles are actually signs of divine protection. A job we did not get, a business opportunity that failed, or a relationship that ended may have shielded us from harm, or guided us towards something far greater. Those who understand this principle experience true wealth, because they recognize that Allah's plan is superior to human expectation. Risk often arrives in unexpected ways, teaching us that wealth is not linear, and that provision can appear from sources we never anticipated. The Quran recounts the story of Prophet Musa, who fled to a distant land, and despite having nothing, found sustenance through Allah's provision in the form of work, guidance, and eventual leadership. Similarly, Prophet Yusuf experienced betrayal, imprisonment, and hardship before Allah elevated him to immense influence and wealth. These stories are not just historical lessons, they are reminders that sustenance may come through unconventional paths, requiring patience, faith, and attentiveness to Allah's signs. True richness involves recognizing that every twist and turn, every hardship, and every unexpected opportunity can be a channel of divine provision. Finally, the hidden law of Rizq emphasizes balance. Wealth is not merely for personal comfort, but for growth, service, and the betterment of the community. A person who earns wealth but hoards it selfishly may find their provision limited or unstable, whereas one who gives generously, acts ethically, and maintains gratitude attracts barakah, a divine increase that transforms both the quantity and quality of their sustenance. True wealth combines effort, intention, reliance on Allah, and ethical action, creating a life that is abundant not only materially but spiritually. This principle encourages us to work diligently, align our hearts with pure intentions, trust Allah's plan, and remain open to provision from unexpected sources, understanding that real richness is measured by alignment with divine guidance, rather than worldly comparison. The stories of the prophets and righteous individuals in the Quran provide profound insights into how rizq, or sustenance, manifests in ways that often defy human expectation. These examples illustrate that Allah's provision is not limited to predictable sources, and that wealth, whether material, spiritual, or emotional, can arrive through doors we never anticipated. Consider the story of Prophet Yusuf who endured betrayal by his own brothers, was sold into slavery, falsely accused, and imprisoned. From a worldly perspective, his life seemed devoid of opportunity, his prospects bleak, and his sustenance minimal. Yet through unwavering faith, patience and reliance upon Allah, Yusuf eventually rose to immense authority and influence, overseeing the wealth of Egypt during a time of famine. His rizq did not come immediately, or through conventional means. It was orchestrated by Allah, in perfect timing, demonstrating that true provision can often be hidden within trials and hardships. This teaches us that wealth may not always arrive when we expect, and sometimes the path to provision is lined with challenges that shape our character and prepare us for greater blessings. Another striking example is Prophet Musa when he fled from Pharaoh and arrived in the land of Madian. Musa had nothing, no home, no resources, no network, and no immediate solution to his needs. Yet Allah guided him to a well, where he met the daughters of Shua, ultimately providing him with employment and a home, through what seemed like chance encounters. The sustenance he received came from unexpected sources, reinforcing the principle that rizq can arrive in ways we do not anticipate. For ordinary individuals, this lesson is equally applicable. A sudden opportunity, a new connection, or even a small act of kindness can become the vehicle through which Allah delivers provision, and often these blessings appear when one is patient, sincere, and persistent in effort. The story of the Prophet Salah himself offers profound insight into the nature of divine provision. Despite living a simple life with limited material wealth, the Prophet Salah experienced barakah, divine abundance, in every aspect of his life. He was sustained in times of hardship, protected during periods of vulnerability, and blessed with opportunities that facilitated the spread of the message of Islam. The Prophet's life demonstrates that true wealth is not only about what is visibly possessed, but also about the unseen advantages, guidance, and protection granted by Allah. His provision came through trust, patience, and adherence to divine principles, illustrating that sustenance is often tied to spiritual alignment and ethical conduct. Even in the lives of ordinary believers, the principle holds true. Many experience provision through means they could never have planned. A job opportunity arising from a casual conversation, financial help arriving from unexpected sources, or a problem being resolved in a way that seems miraculous. These moments are not mere coincidences, they are the manifestation of Allah's law of rizq, showing that He controls all circumstances, places people in your path, and orchestrates events for your benefit. The unseen hand of Allah ensures that those who strive with sincerity, maintain patience in trials, and trust in His timing, will experience sustenance that is both sufficient and transformative. The lessons from these stories emphasize that wealth and provision are deeply tied to patience,
reliance and perspective. A temporary setback or obstacle is not a denial of risk, but may be a sign that Allah is redirecting your path towards something better. What appears as scarcity may be divine protection, and what seems like delay may be preparation for a greater blessing. The hidden law of Rizq teaches that sustenance is not merely transactional, it is part of Allah's larger plan for growth, character development, and spiritual fulfillment. By studying these examples, believers are encouraged to approach life with gratitude, patience, and trust, understanding that provision often comes through unexpected channels, in perfect timing, and in forms that transcend human calculation. Those who do not receive or seem to struggle with wealth are often being guided by Allah towards something greater, a lesson that requires patience, trust, and surrender to divine wisdom. Many people view lack of provision as failure or misfortune, and they may compare themselves to others who appear to be more successful or fortunate. Yet the hidden law of Rizq teaches that what seems like deprivation is often a form of divine protection or preparation. Allah knows what is best for each individual, and He distributes sustenance not only according to need but according to wisdom, timing, and the unseen benefits that accompany patience and trust. Sometimes, what is withheld in the short term is being redirected to long-term gain, shaping a person's character, strengthening reliance upon Allah, and preparing them for blessings they could not have imagined. Life is filled with tests and trials, and one of the most profound is managing the desire for material success, while remaining content with what Allah has provided. People may struggle with financial difficulties, career setbacks, or unfulfilled ambitions, and yet these challenges are not necessarily indications of divine neglect. On the contrary, they can be instruments of growth and refinement. The Qur'an repeatedly reminds believers that patience and trust in Allah are pathways to success and fulfillment. So be patient. Indeed, the promise of Allah is truth. Surah Aram 30:60. Patience in the face of perceived scarcity allows a person to build resilience, refine intentions, and develop the spiritual maturity necessary to handle greater wealth and responsibility when it arrives. Those who rush, panic, or act without faith may miss opportunities that are perfectly timed and carefully orchestrated by Allah. Allah often uses periods of scarcity to redirect us toward blessings that are more aligned with our ultimate benefit. A job lost prematurely may lead to a more suitable career path. A financial delay may inspire innovation, ethical diligence, or stronger reliance upon Allah. A relationship that ends may prepare someone for a connection that brings greater harmony, peace, or spiritual growth. The hidden law of Rizq emphasizes that apparent failure or lack is rarely final. It is a temporary state designed to teach, guide, and protect. Understanding this principle shifts the focus from immediate outcomes to long-term divine wisdom, helping believers navigate life with hope rather than despair. Gratitude and trust are central to unlocking provision. Those who complain, envy others, or become disheartened often fail to recognize the blessings already present in their lives. Every meal, roof, skill, and opportunity is a form of Rizq, and acknowledging these gifts strengthens faith and aligns the heart with Allah's law of provision. When a believer is grateful for what they have, their heart becomes a magnet for barakah, divine increase, and provision often multiplies in ways they did not anticipate. The Hadith Qudsi states, "O my servant, you will never attain true richness until you are content with what I have given you." Contentment does not mean stagnation. It means finding peace and gratitude in the present while striving ethically and sincerely for growth. The experiences of the prophets demonstrate that periods of apparent lack are often preludes to extraordinary provision. Prophet Yusuf has faced betrayal, imprisonment, and hardship before receiving wealth, influence, and fulfillment beyond his imagination. Prophet Musa began in exile, dependent on strangers and uncertain of his future. Yet Allah guided him to sustenance, leadership, and success in ways he could never have foreseen. These stories illustrate that delays, challenges, and trials are often part of the divine design for preparing the believer for greater blessings, ensuring that provision is not only sufficient, but also transformative and spiritually aligned. Understanding this principle allows believers to surrender their anxieties, trust in Allah's timing, and prepare for the blessings ahead with patience, gratitude, and ethical effort. It teaches that wealth is not merely about material accumulation, but about alignment with divine wisdom, the development of character, and the cultivation of trust in one who knows all things. Recognizing that delays or obstacles in provision are often a sign of divine guidance transforms how a person approaches life, work, and faith, opening the heart to the abundance that Allah is ready to bestow when the time is perfect.